Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing this. It is a Domino DM368 Android Smartwatch, which was very kindly sent to me by Tony from GearBest. So let me turn the camera around and we will have a look at this. There is quite a lot for me to tell you about it. Okay, first things first, before we look at the watch, we'll have a quick look. Firstly, we do have a manual. It's not ever so big. It's not ever so detailed. It is an interesting translation. It's what can I say? It is kind of what you would expect from a translated manual, in that the English is unusual. You can understand what it's saying. So it's more amusing than it's not problematic, but a good deal of it, you're not going to learn a massive amount from the manual. There are like hints and tips, but really stuff that you will need to know about this, you're basically going to have to find out for yourself by fiddling with it. The manual is really just the basics. Anyway, let's have a look on the back of this thing first of all. You see these here set of pins. That is for charging and data transfer, which I find very interesting, because there's not, you know, normally on Android devices you have like a micro USB or something like that. This has this weird thing, and it's you plug this into it, and here's the clever thing. These bits on the end here are magnetic, and they prevent you from putting it on the wrong way round, because it doesn't matter which way it goes. It goes that way, and the magnet just drags it there. It does come unattached. Was all of that off camera? I think it was. Look, that's great. But if you're fiddling around with it while it's plugged in and charging, it's not a very long cable, and it can come unattached when you don't really want it to, but you know. The clever thing is, because it's magnetic, there are magnets on here, there are magnets in there. It won't let you plug it in the wrong way. It's pushing it away. It's not going to connect unless it goes around the right way, and I think that's great. That's very clever. We have here a sensor. It's a heart rate sensor, and we will look at the details of that and what that's for in a minute. I'm going to show you the SIM and where it goes and the palaver of getting to it. It's not complex. It's just you need a little tiny screwdriver or something to I can't see. Am I on? Yes, I am on camera. You've got this rubber cover, and it's awkward, and I'm pushing the button on the phone. Come on, open up. I can't see. Oh, nearly had it. There. And that is where the SIM goes. It's a nano SIM. Absolutely bloody tiny, very fiddly to fit in there, but once it's in, you won't need to mess around with it again. I'm going to talk more about that later, because it matters. It was quite amusing actually going into the shop. I got the SIM from Carphone Warehouse, and I said I want a nice cheap pay-as-you-go SIM. Have you got one that doesn't run out at the end of the month? No. They all do that now. It's like you have your monthly top up. If you haven't used it all at the end of the month, it just disappears, and that's crappy. But that's the way it is with mobile phones these days, so there you go. But I showed her this and said I want to put it in here, and she said, but we sell SIMs for phones. That's a watch. And I just like rolled my eyes and yeah. Okay, let's have a look at the watch itself and what it does. And I need to change my glasses because I can't see what I'm doing. There. So, you push that button there, and that is the only button to push. And you get this nice screen, which is cool. I like this watch face. But you can change it if you like. You hold your finger on it, and you get lots of different choices, and some of them are pretty cool. And I don't know what that does. You've got to be logged on. I'm not connected at the minute, either through Wi-Fi or data connection, like mobile data. Yeah, and I assume you can download more of them. I haven't actually looked at that. Some of these are really, I mean, how cool is that? That's great. I don't keep that one on. I do keep I keep that one because you can look at that and at a glance you know what the time is. With that other one, while it looks fantastic, it could be a little bit confusing just at a glance. Now, there are other things you can reach without going into any of the apps, because this thing has apps on it. It had a load that were pre-installed and some that I've added to it, but you have notifications. If you swipe over, well, that way, swipe right and it will come in from the left. You sometimes get notifications there, like Android notifications or notifications over the Wi-Fi or data, mobile data thing from assorted different places. Some I get from Vodafone, some I get from some of the apps that I've got installed. If you swipe up, it'll give you the weather. And I think sometimes it... yeah, okay, thanks for that. Yeah. It does stuff. And if you go that way, it will tell you your battery life, what your mobile connection is like, is your Bluetooth on, date, time, stuff. In from the right, and yeah, options for Wi-Fi connection, which you can turn on and off, Bluetooth on and off, brightness, click the wrong thing there, I don't want my Bluetooth on. So you've got brightness control. That, you know what, hand bright screen on, I don't know what that means. I have no idea. It doesn't appear to make a difference. Airplane mode, which basically disconnects all of your connectivity stuff, data, mobile data on and off, GPS on and off, and screen vibrate, and well, I suppose this is on silent, and whether or not it vibrates I don't know, but I keep that on just because I don't really know what it does. And then here you have a pedometer. Don't know if the camera's picking that up. Yeah, it will tell you how many steps you've taken if you've got the pedometer turned on. I don't, and we will come to that later. So if you go this way, you get a ton of stuff. Contacts, that is like the contact list in any standard Android phone or tablet or whatever. By default it is empty. You can add them yourself manually. What I found interesting and annoying, I installed Skype on here, and Skype ties in, and I wish it didn't, with my Hotmail account. And what that does is it transfers all of your Hotmail, anyone whose email address you've got stored in your Hotmail account, it transfers them all into your contact list. And that might be fine for some people, but for me it's a pain in the ass, because all I want is like a nice little phone list, and I end up with a massive list of people. Half of them I haven't got a clue who they are. Some of them I maybe emailed 10, 15 years ago or something, and I can't remember who they are, and maybe I don't like them now. I don't want them in my phone book, but I can't get rid of them unless I go into my Hotmail and find them in my address book and delete them, and can't be bothered with that. So that's a bit of a pain in the arse. But that's not a fault of the phone. That is an annoying aspect of Skype and the way it will integrate with Android devices. Phone, well, yes, you dial that, or you dial in a number, and it will phone someone. I would demonstrate it working here, but then you'd see the number that I dial, and I don't want you to see the number that I dial because then you'd know my mobile phone number. So take my word for it, the phone works if you have a SIM in it. Messaging. I'm not going to click that because you will see a load of messages that contain my phone number, and I don't want you to have that. Okay, settings. You have settings for sound, display, app list style. I have found that actually doesn't do anything. Connect. That gives you control over your Bluetooth, Wi-Fi hotspot. I suppose that's if you're on a digital, on a mobile data thing, and create a hotspot with the phone. Airplane mode, GPS, cellular networks, restrict app something. Don't know what that does actually. I should probably hold this up here. I don't think you can see it clearly when I hold it down there. Problem is I can't see it clearly when I hold it up here, but anyway. Mobile assistant. That gives you that. You scan that with your mobile phone using a what is it? Is it a QR reader, something like that, and it installed an app onto your phone, which I'll show you later. Gesture. That's kind of cool. Pedometer service, you turn that on if you want it to tell you how many steps you've taken in a day. Excuse me. Screen on raising. That, I'll show you what that does. If you have that on, so you might want your watch off most of the time, but you raise your wrist and to look at your watch, and it does that, which is cool. Why have I got it off? Batteries. Power saving. Yeah, this tells you what's using the most battery life at the moment. The screen largely. That seems to be the way with most Android devices, phones, tablets, you name it. Unless you're doing something very intensive, the screen is always going to be the most power hungry. Language and input, yeah. We'll speak a little bit about that later. Date and time. Reset equipment. Well, I'm not resetting it. Uninstall. Yeah, if you've installed an app on here and you want to get rid of it, this is the place to do that. About watch. Yeah. Wireless upgrade. Developer option. Wireless upgrade. I don't know what that does. Might have to look into that. Yes, I'm going to check that out before I go on and do anything else because I haven't noticed that before. So, excuse me. No, I'm back. That's all about doing a firmware update, which actually this thing does the first time you start it up, or it seemed to with me anyway. It did a firmware upgrade right from the get-go, which is good because it means you have the latest firmware in it, and it's always good to have the latest firmware. Look at me putting sentences together. What have we got next? Okay, remote capture. I'm going to turn on the Bluetooth and then I'm going to show you something because it's kind of funky. I don't remember how to get there. Right, now let's put that down for a moment, get my phone out. Yep, that was the watch recognizing that I've turned on the phone, because the watch and the phone are paired. Now, remote capture. Here's my phone, here's my watch. Can you see what's going on? The watch is displaying whatever the phone camera is pointing at. So, hi. Wow, my hair's looking bad. Hello. That's cool. I'm going to guess that records the blue dot there. I don't know. I haven't tried it. I'm not going to. Let's assume that's what it does. I don't want to fill up the storage on this here thing, because storage is limited. I don't know an awful lot about the specifications of this watch. In terms of, I don't know what the CPU is, I don't know how much RAM it has, but I do know how much storage it has. And straight out of the box I had access to about 5 gigabytes of storage. Now I've put some stuff on there, like a few apps and some music and video and photo files, and they've taken up an amount. So yeah, I don't want to go just recording stuff willy-nilly. What do we got next? Browser. This is web page not available. That's because I'm not logged on to any particular network at the moment. I don't know what browser that is. I would be inclined to actually put Chrome on there at some point, because I do at least like that browser. Calendar. Does what you would expect, tells you what the date is and what it's going to be and what it has been, and calendar-y type things. Can you actually do anything? I don't know. Maybe not. Clock. Yeah, it'll let you set alarms and where is it? There it is, stopwatch, which is pretty cool. It's nothing amazing, but it's there. You never know when you might need it. Gallery. Now this will give you access to photos and videos. There's me and Andrea on our wedding day. There's our cat, one of them, one of 6. Video. Okay, I've got 2 videos on here. I've got what is that? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I'm not going to play that now, but let's just show you this so you can see the that's pretty decent. Good frame rate.
Hello, as promised.
Handsome presenter.
Is the iPassport mini keyboard.
Yeah. Can you swipe that away, or do you have to? No, you have to click it. So there's that. Music. Now the music app on here I am not thrilled by, because it doesn't matter if you've got your music files organized in folders or whatever. It lists them in alphabetical order. Doesn't matter how you've organized them, you get the songs in alphabetical order, and I find that not convenient. I want control over what order they're played in, or how they're played, or you know. I want to be able to organise them, and it's alphabetical order or nothing as far as I can tell, and that doesn't impress me. Sound quality is, well, you can hear yourself here. You've got it's alright. It's a watch. What do you want? It's not got tons of bass. It's not as good as my phone. but it does the job. You could play that to a friend, you know, if you wanted to show them this great, let them hear this great song that you've heard, and all you've got is this. It does the job. Remote control. Right. Do you remember that QR code thingy that I showed you? That the thing that you scan with your phone? That installs a thing onto your phone. And it allows you to basically control some aspect of what your phone does. It works from two different directions really. You can run it on your phone for some reason. It calls it WiiWare. I do not know why, because it has nothing whatsoever to do with the Wii. But it lets you control some things on your watch from your phone, like find device. If you've lost if you put your watch down somewhere and you've forgotten where it is, you click that, and theoretically, come on, do your thing. Yeah, there you go. Yay. Which is all right. You can transfer pictures. Application alert. Remote control settings. What's that? Whatever. There's stuff. Find. What's that? Coming soon. Yeah, it's marginally useful, I guess. The find thing, I'm like, you've got to have a Bluetooth connection for this to work. And Bluetooth connection between watch and phone drains battery life, so you don't really want to have it on all of the time. And you can't like decide, well, I'll put my Bluetooth on now because I think I'm going to lose my watch soon. And Bluetooth being a very short range thing anyway, if you're more than like, I don't know, how far does Bluetooth go? Not very far. Yeah, you might as well just phone your watch if you've got cellular connectivity. If it's working as a phone, there's no need for that. You just ring yourself. But there is a useful aspect of this, and that is you can... yeah, I won't let that continue playing. It will let you play the songs that are on your phone. What do we got? Bring me the Disco King. Yeah, this is Dave. I've got it on shuffle on my phone. Yeah, it just transfers the... well, it doesn't transfer the data. You're controlling the phone. It's not playing the music from the phone on your watch, but you are controlling what song plays from your phone via your watch, which is kind of handy, I suppose. I'm often find myself walking down the street with my headphones in, my phone's in my pocket, and this gives you volume control, start, stop, forward, back. That's kind of handy, because when the phone's in my pocket, I don't want to have to take it out to control it. I kind of like that aspect of it. That's pretty good. Let's bang out of that anyway. Oh. Sound recorder does what you would expect. File manager does what you would expect. Yeah, I have used this. It works. That's really all you need to know about that. Find me. Yeah, that will, I think it'll... Yep, there goes my phone. That's if you lose your phone. But same thing, you might as well just ring it than have the Bluetooth connection on all of the time, and the Bluetooth will drain your battery. Health. Okay. You got the pedometer, which I have... Have I shown you that? I may have. If you've got your pedometer turned on, it will tell you how many steps you've taken over a period of time. And I don't know what else, because I don't have it turned on. Because it uses sensors in the watch I don't know if it's gyros or accelerometers or something, but when you're using them, it drains the battery quite well, noticeably anyway. And a thing this size, the battery is small, it's all about saving the battery. Heart rate, okay, please wear this. I'll just put my finger on there, it might get me heart rate from my finger. This does work, which I think is cool. It's going to come back, you're dead mate. There we go, 68. I'm alive. That's cool. I read a thing in the news, just the camera's picking up that heart as yellow, but it's actually red. I'm dying, look at this. That's probably not accurate on my fingertip. Yeah, there was a thing in the news just yesterday about this pensioner. I don't know how old she was, and she'd got a Fitbit, and it told her her heart rate was like 140 or something, and she thought, that's not right. She'd been feeling a bit ill, and when she saw that on her Fitbit, I don't know if she called an ambulance or whatever, went to the hospital, and basically she'd got blood clots on her lungs, and it saved her life. You know, if she hadn't got it, she would have just thought, oh, I'm alright, I'm just a bit under the weather, and then she would have died. So things like that are useful. Weather or not, blah blah blah, connect to a wireless LAN network, insert SIM card, blah blah. Yeah, I've got all the data turned off. Voice search. Okay, I'm going to turn I'm going to put my Wi-Fi on. If I pressed it properly. Come on you come. Who is Steve Benway? Now do your thing. Wi-Fi is going slow. There you go. You get a whole load of stuff. Oh, looky. There's me. What's that? What's going on? What? I don't know what all the buzzing and stuff was about.
Do you like video games?
I do, yes. So you see, this will play YouTube.
But do you like retro video games?
I do, yeah. Thanks for asking.
I'm enjoying myself.
Okay. Now, how long does it take to get from here to London?
There's light traffic from your location to London, so it should take 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Thank you. Very kind. That's cool. I like that. I think that's impressive. I mean, I know it's nothing new. Google's been doing that for a while, but having that on your watch, what the hell's this? Rocky the Fishman has liked my video. That's a Twitter alert. Come on, get off. Hello. Sinware or... I don't know... Sinware. That's that WeWare. I don't know why it calls it Sinware. The word sin is like... What? Is that naughty? I don't know. Get off. So, that's the voice search. Play Store. That takes you to the Android Play Store. Unlike... there are Android Wear watches, and they are a particular flavour of the Android operating system. I don't think this is that, because this has the standard Android Play Store, and everything that I've installed on my phone and various tablets and things I've got access to on this, and that's it's good actually. It's cool. It's not limited in any way. Though not everything is useful. We will look at that in a bit. Maps, that's Google Maps. It does what you would expect Google Maps to do. I'm not going to click it because it'll probably show you my home address, because it was zoomed in on that last time I used it and stuff. Okay, that's all of the apps that came on it as standard. I've added some of my own. I say my own. I didn't make them, but I got them from the Play Store. Watch TV live. Did you, as a kid, ever think, wouldn't it be great to have a TV that you could just watch and have it on your wrist? Well, you can. This live TV thing. I've tried running iPlayer on here. Actually, I was running the iPlayer music app and it just didn't want to know. I'm going to guess it was running out of memory, but it couldn't do it. I'd load it and it would crash. So I assumed that the iPlayer for watching TV programs won't work either, but this does work. I'm kind of hesitant to load any of them because copyright material and all of that. They're kind of weird when you do get a thing to load. I'll mute the sound when this loads up. You'll see it's a bit weird. It doesn't go full screen, which is not ideal. If it's gonna, is it gonna? Right, you see, you got a tiny little screen there. I think I've got a delivery. Bear with me. No, that wasn't a delivery, it was just the dogs being arseholes downstairs. So yeah, you can watch live TV on your watch. You don't get full screen, which is a shame. It's possible there are other apps that do the same thing, that will give you full screen. That is, of course, not broadcast television. That's streamed over the internet, over the Wi-Fi. Skype, well, you know what Skype is. There's no camera on this thing, so you'll just have audio conversations, I imagine. I haven't used it. I can't tell you how effective it is, but it's on there. Radio player. Well, because the music iPlayer wouldn't work, I got this, and it's just got a whole mass of radio stations, British radio stations. I don't know if there are foreign ones as well. I wanted to listen to radio too because I'm a fuddy-duddy old git, and this allowed me to do it. You know, it's live. It's not like podcasts or recordings or whatever. It's live radio streamed over the internet. Okay. Things have moved around, light conditions are different. I'm reshooting because I ran into some problems which I have solved, and I'll show you them here. Twitter. Yay, two people having a snog. Don't know what that story is. Alright, as you can see, Twitter is tiny, but also, God, I'm scrolling the wrong way there. Can you see... Can you see what you in fact can't see? If you're at all familiar with Twitter, you will know that there is me notifications thing, but where's me home button? And how do I tweet? Yeah, they're off the screen. So that in itself is a problem. However, we do this, you see that there? Full, that means full screen. It fills the screen with whatever app you're using, and that potentially can push things off the screen, like the tweet button there and the home button that would be there. So you push that and it's windowed mode. Go back to where we were, and it was already tiny. Now it's really tiny, but you can get to your buttons that you need on most apps. Some apps you will still not be able to reach. Buttons and stuff will still be off the screen, but Twitter at least works. Now, I ran into a problem here yesterday, and this is the reason I'm reshooting. This button here on the keyboard, EN, I had accidentally, whilst going for the number button here, pushed that, and it went to CN. And I hadn't noticed that, and I couldn't work out when I was typing why was it coming up in Chinese. It's because I pushed that. So you have to be careful with that. It is this keyboard works. It is very, very small. And if you've got fat I mean, I've got little fingers. You can't tell here, but mine are little fingers, and I can just about type with it. I've forgotten how to spell my own pseudonym. There we go. You can do it, but you've got to be very, very precise. It's very easy to hit the wrong key. And as I said, I was going for the number thing there, so I could switch from letters to numbers, and I hit the EN and switched it to CN and was typing in Chinese. You got to be careful with things like that. It is a how do I get rid of that without actually tweeting it there? Okay. No. Just, yeah. So things like that you need to look out for. There are other problems with this. I'm going to sit down and talk to the camera. First of all, actually, before I do that, I'm going to show you something else. It was on that screen. This here, this screen is useful. Most of it you'd be kind of familiar with. Power off, duh. Reboot, duh. Recent task. This is a standard Android thing. It will give you a list of all the stuff that you did recently, and you can cycle through it. I just use it to dump. I don't know if they're taking up memory or whatever when they're in that, but I frequently go through it and close them all. But the other one that is important is this one, power save. Press that and do that, and it just goes to this screen. Mostly it will keep the screen turned off altogether, but if you push that button there, it will tell you the time and how much battery life you've got left, and nothing else. And I don't know if you can see it, battery life, we are now down to 97%. In the few minutes that it's taken me to show you the Twitter and the keyboard and stuff like that, that was with the Wi-Fi running, with that app running. Twitter actually on here seems to be a little bit power hungry, and it's the power aspect that is of concern. This mode turns off everything. It turns off your Bluetooth, it turns off your Wi-Fi, it turns off your mobile data, it turns off your cellular phone thing, so anyone who phones you will just go to your voicemail. And this is important. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. I'm going to go and sit myself down and talk to the camera and tell you about that and certain other issues, and then give you my overall view of this here watch. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so I've mentioned there are some issues with this. The keyboard is very fiddly, and you need small fingers and need to be careful when you're using it so you don't wind up typing in Chinese. You might want to do that, in which case that's fine. You do need to be careful what screen mode you're using, because some buttons and things will be off the screen and you might not even notice or be aware of it. I have found myself on some kind of notification screen, and I couldn't see it all, and it needed me to confirm or decline something or other, and I was like, what's going on? I have no idea, until I put it into that windowed mode. Battery life is a concern. You do need to keep it in power saving mode most of the time. If there's a feature that you're not using that you can turn off, turn it off, because I left this in not power saving mode all of yesterday. I was using it minimally, and it barely lasted 12 hours. I think in battery saving mode it would last the day. There is one other issue that to me is quite a big issue, and that is the cellular data connection. The the 3G, 2G and 3G this will do. You can get a phone signal and make a phone call or a text message, no problem, from this house. Now we have a poor cellular signal in this house. Quite often my wife will phone me from, she'll be at work, she'll phone me and it goes to voicemail straight away. It's like, as far as her phone is concerned, mine is turned off. Where it's not, and if I look at my phone it says I've got signal, but you know, there's definitely an issue in this area. This thing, it will make a cellular call, but for data, no. I've once managed to make a data connection and get something to work. The problem with that is it was trying very, very hard to make a data connection. I was trying to do Twitter. I just wanted to refresh Twitter and it did something that concerned me. It got very hot to the point that I took it off my wrist. I'm thinking, is this thing going to blow up? Obviously it didn't. But it got very hot and in the space of 2 minutes it drained the battery from 25% to 1% and shut itself down. I wondered, was this a fluke? Was this just... Did Twitter bug out or something? So I recharged it and I did it again and the same thing happened. Now I've only had that happen with Twitter. I've never had it drain the battery just bam like that out of the blue with anything else. But I have had problems getting a cellular data connection with pretty much anything. It does... I don't... The manual says make sure your cellular provider is compatible. It certainly doesn't work with all networks. I don't know which ones it's best with. I tried with this has a Vodafone SIM in it. I can say in this location on this phone it's not great. It has managed to get a connection from time to time because it gives me Twitter alerts. But trying to refresh Twitter, it, like I said, it tried really hard and flattened the battery and shut down twice. So that is of concern. The battery life in general, I have found that when it gets down to the last 20 or 25%, that bit just goes really quickly. It's like in a fuel tank of some cars or motorbikes or whatever. It will show full for ages and ages and ages and ages, and then you get down to the bottom of the tank and it's like it's a funnel and it's just gone really quick. It seems to do that on here with its power. So don't necessarily believe the power reading on here. If it says 20%, it's actually nearly run out. Yeah. So I mean, with all that in mind, what do I think of this? Because parts of it are fantastic. It has massive geek value. To a person like me, and I'm a geek, make no bones about it, I'm a great big geek. I love techie toys, and that really is what this is. It's a toy. It is also a watch. It does some very clever stuff. Some of it could be very useful. And it's just a good thing for showing off, really. You show your mate, look what my watch does. In practical terms, it's not especially practical. You don't really want to be tweeting on a thing like this or doing general browsing. You certainly don't want to be doing your online shopping, and while you can watch TV, you're going to kill your eyes. It's not really about being practical, it's about geek value. I tell you what it's not, is a good mobile smartphone. I think the word mobile there was kind of redundant. It is a perfectly functional phone. It's a functional mobile phone, yes. Smartphone, no. Really, I think unless you're somewhere where you've got a very strong data signal, you just need to forget about that aspect of it. It's not going to work. And I suppose I'm not surprised because it's tiny. Where they're going to fit the aerial? I suppose you need to expect that kind of compromise with a thing like this. It is not a deal breaker for me. I mean, if I think about it, I have tablets. I've got loads. I've got a Tesco Huddle. I've got a GPD XD. I've got a GPD Win. I've got a JXDS 7800B. All of these run Android or Windows, and none of them have a mobile connection. None of them have mobile data. You can't walk down the street with them and have a connection. You can't really do that with this. The only difference, I suppose, is it's in the back of your mind that this thing should do. You know, it says it does, but it's not very effective. So to me, it's not a deal breaker. It's a bit of a disappointment. I suppose the thing to remember is this is a watch. It does other things. Battery life being what it is. You don't want to rely on this as your mobile phone. Think of it as an emergency backup. Keep your mobile phone on you. You'll be able to do all the online stuff as well. But I don't know, suppose you're in that emergency situation where you're in the bank and bank robbers have huddled you all into the vault and taken your mobile phones away, but they haven't taken your watch away. Yeah, that's a handy, you know, theoretical situation where a thing like this, obviously that's not going to happen. But you know, there are those times where you want to make a call, your mobile is flat, you happen to have your watch on you, and guess what, you can make a phone call with it. You can text with it. You might, if you're really lucky, be able to send a tweet out on it if you're right next to the mobile phone mast. It's that kind of thing. I kind of think of it as an emergency backup. It's a watch. Wear it as a watch. Use it as a watch. The other stuff, battery life is going to die very rapidly if you use it for anything else. So I would say emergencies only if your mobile phone is conked out. And geek value for showing off to your mates. And one other thing. I'm going to end here because I've already recorded this and I know I didn't say thank you for watching at the end of it. So I'm going to say my goodbyes and thank yous now. Big thank you to Tony at GearBest for sending me this to review. I've thoroughly enjoyed reviewing it. I like it. I know it's flawed. I don't really care. I can look past those things and just enjoy the utter geekness of it. And this one other thing that I'm about to show you. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this next bit because I chuckle. Okay, I have hooked up my Bluetooth iPegger joypad to the phone, and I've resumed where I left off. So I've pretty much killed everyone already. I don't care for the lens flare. This is Doom Glaze, G-L-E-S, I don't know. Goodies. Yeah, how utterly wild is this? It's Doom on a wristwatch. I've seen it played on some pretty daft and bizarre things. I've seen Doom played on an ATM. I've seen Doom played on a pocket calculator. I have never yet seen Doom played on a wristwatch. But here it is. And that's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. I've got to press the right button. You know, I don't know what button swaps. Oh, that does that. I don't know. How do I swap weapon? Can I swap weapon? Don't know. I'm lost now. That's the way it came in. That's... yeah. I'm pushing the buttons to try and swap. Probably needs configuring. I haven't done it. But there you are. You get the gist. I don't know how powerful this is in terms of processing power and whatnot. I mean, my feeling is it's not got that much oomph, and you don't need that much to run Doom. You know, you can do it on a SNES, barely. You can certainly do it on a 32X, so you can do it on an Amiga. But it's cool. I just laughed my head off when I found that it would do this.
Not without a knighthood. Not a chance. Anyway, Benway who? Oh. You lot. Hello? What? Oh. Please subscribe. Thank you. Can I go now?